Hi folks, welcome to American Literature 1. So today we're going to talk about our assignments for week 1. So in American Literature 1, where we like to start out with is the age of exploration. So we're talking about the late 1400s, early 1500s. And even though we didn't have the United States of America at this time, we obviously from our history class know that the events surrounding Columbus and later explorers, of course Jamestown, Plymouth Colony, will eventually lead to settlements, will lead to the colonial time period, and then eventually the United States of America. So this is the starting point for our literature. So we're going to start off by looking at some of these early explorers and their writings. Now this is very important because we can kind of see the formulation of what their motives were in exploring this area, what their writing style was like. That's what we want to focus on. So even though we do get a lot of history with this course and with these writings, we also want to focus on their writing style and think about why did they write this certain way? Why did they include these events? What bias do they have with their writing? So if you look at the middle site, our assignments for week 1, we're going to read some selections from Columbus, Cabeza de Vaca, and looking at what these early explorers were witnessing, what their thoughts, feelings, emotions were, how they depicted the natives, which is really important. And then we're going to try to apply this to our time period as well as what we're looking for in the literary realm. So if you'll look at those assignments for week 1, at the bottom I've included some literary analysis questions to develop ideas about a story. Literary analysis is not literary summation. Okay, you're not summarizing what is in the story. So when I ask you to go to the forums and answer questions or talk about what you've read, it's more so how can you apply this? What is the writing style like? Think about point of view, think about language, think about setting, characters. Okay, all of those different things that could come together to bring forth that story or to bring forth that narrative. So look at these questions. I'm not asking you to answer these questions, but these are the types of things that need to be going through your head during or after reading this material. Okay, so take a look at that. And then after that, you're going to go to the week 1 forum, which is called Early Explorers. You'll click on that, and there are 4 questions, 5 questions that I want you to think about. What preconceived ideas do you have about Columbus? So, of course, we've all been taught Columbus sailed the ocean 1492. Okay, how has your perception of him changed from perhaps grade school to now? What is your view on this person? Okay, particularly after these accounts that he has given. So when you're reading these accounts, what sticks out in your mind? This is a bad human being, or I really like this writing style. Okay, positives, negatives. How does his account differ from other descriptions of natives? So compare Cabeza de Vaca to Columbus. Think about the different perceptions they have of the natives. And then finally, are we able to judge the past with the values of today? So this is something that is very, very controversial, something that is in our news with everything that's been going on with race, with these controversial aspects of society. How do we judge the past with the values of today? Should we do that? Okay, so if these people were wrong, then do we need to point that out? Do we need to correct that? Okay, are any of these things still lingering today? So think about that in your post on the forum. Please be respectful of other people's opinions, and also make sure that you reply to another classmate's post. So those are your assignments for week 1. All of the readings are linked, so you don't need the textbook for week 1. Okay, so you can go in, the hyperlinks are there. You can click on that either through the syllabus or through Moodle to reach those readings.